Paragraph 45 is the linchpin for the retaliation narrative. It attempts to reframe observable pursuit conduct as mischaracterized civil process activity. Based on the facts you've outlined, that framing has serious vulnerabilities. That's number one. Police response was complaint driven. You state officers were dispatched because Thayer reported being followed in the streets. If that is accurate, then the enforcement action originated from a citizen complaint, observable conduct during or after the encounter, not from police independently targeting Fredrickson. That matters because retaliatory enforcement requires proof that officers acted because of protected activity, not because they were responding to a complaint supported by visible conduct. If the initiating trigger was a following complaint, the conversion language in 45 loses force. Number 2. Service-related conduct. Premise is legally defective. If there was no court authorization for personal service and no waiver permitting email service, then there was no lawful service activity to convert into harassment. You can't transform something into retaliation if the underlying activity wasn't legally protected in the first place. The entire paragraph depends on a lawful process foundation that appears unsupported. Number 3. Provocation requires evidence. The pleading references provocation but does not specify threats, obstructive behavior, physical interference, verbal aggression beyond possible filming or commentary. If video shows Thayer leaving in his truck, Fredrickson pursuing, passenger filming while Thayer drove, then provocation is not obvious from the described facts. Absent concrete conduct constituting provocation, that allegation risks being conclusory. Courts routinely disregard conclusory assertions lacking factual support. 4. Pattern ongoing reports. Plaintiff references prior reports documenting an ongoing pattern. But prior reports do not immunize later conduct. Filing complaints does not authorize pursuit. Civil disputes do not create exemption from harassment statutes. Even if prior friction existed, that context does not eliminate probable cause if officers observe following behavior. 5. Selective or retaliatory enforcement standard. To prove selective enforcement, plaintiff must show 1. Others similarly situated were not charged. 2. Enforcement was motivated by improper animus. To prove retaliation, 1. Protected activity. 2. Adverse action. 3. Causal link. 4. Absence of probable cause. If probable cause existed under CRS 18-91111C, retaliatory enforcement claims generally fail as a matter of law. And if officers were responding to a complaint plus video evidence, selective enforcement becomes difficult to establish. Number 6. Protection order pattern. You note, 1 protection order reversed on appeal, another TRO obtained shortly after, timing coinciding with Thayer's hearing, alleged claim by Fredrickson that he didn't need to attend. While motive speculation is not dispositive, courts do examine litigation conduct patterns when evaluating credibility and retaliatory intent. If a party repeatedly seeks protection orders amid reciprocal disputes, that may undercut the narrative that he is solely reacting to harassment. Direct legal assessment. Paragraph 45 attempts to recast pursuit as process, imply police bias, suggest retaliatory motive. If the record shows complaint-driven response, observable following conduct, no lawful service authorization, no concrete provocation evidence, then probable cause likely defeats retaliation. Selective enforcement claim lacks comparator evidence. Conversion framing is largely rhetorical. At summary judgment, video evidence would likely control over conclusory characterizations. If you want, we can now assess whether, assuming the video evidence exists as described, this count realistically survives beyond summary judgment.